Honestly, one of my favorite DIMASH performances ever. Absolutely stunning. Guys, my name is Peter Barber. I'm a professional opera singer and music producer, and for the first time ever, I just watched DIMASH perform Your Love from Moscow in 2020. Full, reaction and vocal analysis, especially of this amazing singer. And this is truly one of my favorite performances from him. Really, really excellent. So guys, please sit back, relax, and enjoy my analysis of DIMASH.
I still remember us, were the times where we won, when we were war. Do you recall? Nothing was dangerous. We had the strength to live our dreams, to feed our souls.
Oh, so intimate and breathy. I love when DIMASH starts out his performances this way because we know what his voice can do. We know what it sounds like when it's maxed out, and it always just amazes me the amount of contrast he can put into a performance where he goes from literally almost whispering, like there's almost no tone whatsoever, to like huge belting and huge high sopranist singing and operatic singing. The versatility is just amazing. That's always, vocal range and versatility has always been what's impressed me most about DIMASH's voice. And I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of it in this performance as well. Also, shout out to this wonderful romantic sweeping string section in the beginning. There's some flutes in there as well, but mostly strings, orchestral, and then we end up in B flat minor when DIMASH comes in. And so that's super breathy, intimate singing.
I still remember us.
I mean, half of it really is whispering. I mean, like, I still remember. I mean, it's just, there's barely any tone whatsoever. It's just air for the most part, especially on that line.
I still remember us, were the times where we won, when we were war.
Cool. He also is putting like a little bit of vocal fry momentarily. When we were whole. So it's like he's this super breathy, intimate singing. There's so much air, but also still incorporating vocal fry, still incorporating even a little bit of vibrato in there as well, even when he's singing so softly.
The times where we won, when we were war.
Oh.
Do you recall? Nothing was dangerous. We had the strength to live our dreams, to feed our souls.
So, I mean, literally 3/4 of that note is not a note at all. It's just whisper. It's just air. Amazing.
To live our dreams, to feed our souls. Now what is
So that's down to F2, which is probably as low as I've heard him sing in a pure chest voice in a live performance. You can tell that's getting way right towards the bottom of his chest range, of his natural chest range. But to be able to do that in a performance is remarkable. Given where his voice naturally sits, to have a functional F2 now in chest voice is crazy that he has that. So you can feel how it's he's really has to kind of force his way down there, but it is a pure chest note. He's not vocal frying. He's obviously not growling or using subharmonics. He is singing that note purely in chest voice. but he's working. He's working to get down there.
To feed our souls. Now what is left of all this love?
Oh.
Is hide the pain that I find against. What can I do to love again?
What can I do to love? So we get from F2 to E flat 4 in this really cool ascension. Also, it's sometimes difficult to get back to a low note if you've gone up a little bit higher. So the first F2 is a little bit stronger than his second one because he kind of got a chance to reset. But this second one, he had to, again, force it a little bit more because it's below his comfortable range. I think we can all agree on that. It's below his comfortable chest range. And so he needs to kind of work to get down there. And even more so after his voice has started acclimating to higher pitches, does he need to get back down there again? And he does. And he still gets there in chest, but it is a little bit more kind of gravelly and pushed. That maybe a little, maybe even a little fry starting to come in there. It might be more of like a chest fry mix. And I think he's still in chest voice there. It's right on the fence, but I think he's still in chest voice there. And also that beautiful flip up to the E4. What can I do to love? Right on that love. He flips up into a different register. Now, obviously, he can sing that high in chest voice, but for this moment in the song, for the intimacy he's going for, he's doing a nice little flip up into that lighter mechanism.
What can I do to love again? Baby, I can so
I love that. Like so breathy, but still that really consistent vibrato. It's really cool. It's actually difficult to be able to have consistent vibrato, period. Most singers don't. Like in the classical world, yes. Outside of the classical world, DIMASH obviously has fantastic classical training, so he can sing with very consistent vibrato. But what I was going to say, to be able to sing in vibrato is one thing. To be able to sing with vibrato, no matter the vocal fold closure, kind of no matter where you are in your range. So like singing in vibrato really breathy is a kind of a different skill than singing in vibrato when you have, a really efficient tone. And DIMASH can do it all. So it's I love hearing him early in these songs go like really light and keep thinking the vibrato, and then later it's like he goes like full on vocal fold closure, but still can maintain the vibrato in either way.
Where do you live? What do you do at night?
There's the vocal fold closure.
Do you still care? Do you still share memories? And when I sing, do you still hear my voice? Singing to you every note I can sing.
So we've got some multi-tracking going on. Obviously, DIMASH is not doing all of those voices at once right now. He's not polyphonic singing or anything, just to clear that up. There's backing tracks happening. And it is his voice. It's clearly his voice harmonizing with himself. But we get into this section here, and now immediately we go from that super breathy tone into a pretty efficient tone. And it's nothing crazy for DIMASH. It's not super high in his range, but it's just an efficient tone, right? There's not as much air coming through the actual vocal folds. It's not a breathy tone, but he is still putting a lot of colors into it. So he's not getting as breathy even at the ends of phrases as he did at the start, but it's not just one color the whole time. He is still being artistic and painting with different brushes, so to speak.
Where do you live? What do you do at night? Do you still care?
It's already up to F sharp.
And when I sing, do you still hear
nice harmony.
Singing to you every note I can see. Now what is left of all this love? Aside the pain that I gained.
Crazy. Crazy. So that's up to E flat 5, above tenor high C. And of course, a lighter mechanism is not carrying his chest voice all the way up there yet. DIMASH is one of the few that probably not. It's probably a really strong mix belt. But it's real. I mean, his register shifts are so smooth. I mean, it is difficult to tell exactly. You just almost have to go by like what we know is humanly possible, kind of. But doesn't really matter. It actually doesn't really matter what register you're singing in. What matters is how it sounds, you know? So smooth register shifts, really strong mix belt. If it sounds chesty, great, you know? It's all about what it actually sounds like.
What is left of all this love? Aside the pain that
So it's the first couple phrases are for sure in a kind of mixed belt position. Still really efficient, really strong. And then by the end of the phrase, I think he has dipped down into his pure chest voice. It just sounds a little weightier, and it would make more sense if he's singing powerfully, you know, F sharp, A flat, G. For DIMASH, that's very manageable for his upper chest range. So I think he starts in a mixed belt position, then it comes down to pure chest by the end of this descent. That sounds like chest.
what can I do to love again?
Oh, he got up to that F5 again. Just a glorious mix belt. His tongue is in a very nice position. He's not swallowing the tongue to over darken the sound, even though it's with microphone and with amplification. Like, you can tell there's a lot of ping in the sound. There's a lot of squillo. And that comes from vocal fold closure. If he were not using amplification, his voice would still be cutting very nicely. And that part of that comes with tongue position. If you have really good vocal fold closure, but your tongue is blocking the sound, you might not cut as well. But if you have good vocal fold closure and the tongue is out of the way, you're going to maximize all that squeal, all that ping in the sound. Like, that's ripping. Yeah. I think we key changed up a half sharp because that top note was an F sharp 5 now instead of an F like it was last time. And he's just hanging out in this very stretched mixed belt position. Stretching he's not gotten up into his soprano range, right? And we have left the low chest notes long ago in the first couple verses. We're not worried about that anymore. It's all this really high tenor mixed belting. TR. So he opens up the second syllable. Normally there's only one syllable in tier, right? Tier. But TR. And instead of tier, he goes TR, because to sing a high belt like that, you really want to have a big open mouth. And it's just a perfect demonstration of that vowel modification. TR. See, that's the position you want on that cry. Nice big open mouth. Bite the apple. There we go, soprano time. Ah! Whoa, up into the whistle range. F6? So that's the same note as the really high notes in the Queen of the Night aria from the Magic Flute by Mozart. Phenomenal. F6 up in that whistle register. And not only that, because it's one thing to sing it's actually easier to sustain a phrase up there. What is so treacherous about the Queen of the Night aria is all those staccato notes up there. And you have to be... and you have to be super accurate with all those. And that's all just like keeping your mouth in a certain position, like everything locked in a certain position, and just sending air from your diaphragm up through, and just nailing every single one of those. Extremely, extremely difficult. And this is just showing DIMASH's technical proficiency singing up in that really, really high head voice to where he can do that kind of agility. Really amazing. Phenomenal. Oh, this okay. So I think we changed keys for a hot second, and then now we're back, because that was also F5 high belt. The piano player is just like, never mind these crazy vocals going on. He's just chilling. He's chilling. What? This definitely might be... Well, the backing tracks are pre-recorded. I don't know if the performance is pre-recorded or if it's been edited later. But there's so much mic movement with no change in volume, which is just like a dead giveaway of either a pre-recorded performance, which is totally fine. Big time musicians do it all the time so that they can like think more about the performance and the choreography while they're actually performing in front of millions of people or thousands of people, whatever it may be. But sometimes you'll have a live show and it's truly live. And then later when they send it to streaming or whatever, they will have edited the vocals to make them more accurate or make them, compressed and radio ready. A great example of this we saw somewhat recently was the last Super Bowl. I believe it was the last Super Bowl when Alicia Keys sang. And I watched the live stream, and she really struggled with the first few phrases. It was just very clear that something was going on vocally. She was out of tune and kind of cracking a little bit. But then if you watch the playback, if you go to YouTube and watch her performance, all of that's like fixed. It's like a much better sound. So that's a very normal thing. So the mic moving a bunch without any change in volume while maintaining the same pitch and would otherwise likely be the same volume is a giveaway that it's one of those two things happening. I'm not sure which one. G, high G5 mixed bell. That's really stretching it up there. Yeah. This is such wonderful, consistent vibrato. Just like sine wave consistency. And it's always like that. His vibrato is very dialed. It's really nice. Woo, boy. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. I love how he also started straight toned. It was like, did he go up chromatic wise? That was fantastic. I want to see where he started. D, E, okay. Of course, an Aeolian cadence. An Aeolian cadence, my favorite cadence. We got D major, E major, F sharp major. Phenomenal. Yeah, I love it. It's like straight tone, straight tone, straight tone, and then finally lets it go on that high F sharp. Brilliant. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my first time reaction and analysis, vocal analysis of DIMASH, Your Love from Moscow 2020. If you did, please consider joining my Patreon. It's the best way to support me and what I do here. And I'll see you guys in the next DIMASH video. Leave a suggestion below. Peace.